Hi, I'm Lazze and I'm teaching people in metal shaping, and I have done that since 1996 actually, when I started my first class. So what I'm going to show you here is actually where it all started, and so you can know the history behind my classes, what I'm teaching today. And behind me here you can see some pictures, and I worked on a friend's three-window coupe in Sweden, and I decided, I need one of those cars because I like the shape of the car so much. So I went to Stockholm actually, and I looked at the car there. I actually adjusted the shell, the body, the doors, and the trunk lid for a 34 three-window coupe. And I gave the guy a good offer. I thought it was a good offer, but he didn't answer me. So I asked him, how much do you want if you're going to sell it? I drove a long way to get to his place there, and he still didn't answer me. So I said to myself, okay, I go home and I'm going to build one, because I couldn't find another three-window coupe in Sweden. But in that time I actually had a 34 four-door that I found in Norway. And on the top picture here, you can see where I found this car. And it actually was an accident that I found this car in Norway, because I was there to visit a friend. And when I left his house and on my way home, I found this car sitting outside a house in Norway. And I stopped by there and asked if it was for sale, and it was for sale. I couldn't buy the frame because the title was in Norway and he needed that frame. But this guy, he also wanted a three-window coupe, but he could accept the fiberglass body. So I came back a couple of weeks later and I bought this body from him. And in the same time, I actually had a five-window coupe that somebody cut the roof off in the United States and imported it to Sweden. And so my idea was to make a roadster first, and I start doing some patch panel for that one, so around the seat there, seat opening. But then a friend of mine would like to buy this car in Sweden, so I took the firewall and the door off from the four-door, and then I found the trunk lid, and I actually start making those missing parts here, the rear quarter panels, the top of the rear quarter panels, and some other stuff around there. So I made another roadster, and then I sold the five-window coupe that was into a roadster. I sold that one. And I start building this with a big block Chevy and a blower and Proof Street. But I figured out that we have so short summers in Sweden, so I need a car with a roof. So what I did, I found another 33 four-door in Sweden. And I cut the firewall and the doors off from the roadster that I had so far, with the fenders and the grill and all that stuff, and cut 6 inches off of the rear quarter panel, because it's longer doors on the three-window coupe compared to the roadster. And then I start doing those missing pieces here, and I changed the rear window from the four-door, and then I found some really rough three-window coupe doors that I repaired. It's probably the last three-window coupe doors that have ever been for sale. So I made it into a three-window coupe, and there you can see some other picture how it looked like when it was bare metal and all the pieces there. And then I had it painted black. So that was the start for my classes. So now we're going to go over to see the real thing, and now I have the car here in California. So this was actually the start for my business and in teaching people in metal shaping. And I can tell you now, when I'm in front of the camera here, that this piece from here down to here, it took me 11 hours to make that piece. And I was so happy to be able to do that. But immediately after that happiness, oh shit, how can I make the other side so it's symmetrical? And in that time, I only had a small shrinker, so I didn't have access to the 5.5 inch deep shrinker. So I need to roll it up instead and just shrink the edge and roll up the rest. But I was so happy to be able to make those panels, and I was so excited, and I had only 3 Pepsi Cola in 11 hours because I was so focused on what I actually could do, what I have discovered. Today I can make this piece from here with half of this bead all the way up to here and all the way down here, this part here. I can make that probably in, I will say, in one piece, probably 1.5 hours or so. So now I'm going to show you a little trick on this car here, so you can see a little trick that I'm using. I take a little, they're using this for the blinds actually at the houses. It's a little thin rope. I don't know exactly what you call it, but I figured out a long time ago that I can use this like that with a little tape, and then I can hold that against the car like that, and you can see the shape because it gives you a line, so you can see if you have the flow of the car. You can do it up here, you can do it further down if you want, it doesn't matter, but it gives you the line to see what's going on. And if you do this on a steel body before you take it to the painter, you can actually see if you have a little gap somewhere. You see this one, the door is actually just a little fraction too far out. You can actually see that we have a little gap. It's not there, it's not there, it's there. And I think it's just the door that is just a little fraction, so the door should probably be adjusted in a little bit. And I think we are good with the shape of everything, but it's just the door that should come in. And let me show you now what I have done on several cars when I don't have the flow on the car. And if you go to car shows, you probably have seen cars that the rear quarter panel comes out and then the door comes out, so the car is actually wavy on the side, okay? And how do you fix that? Many times you can't push out the B-post because then you're going to end up with too much gap. And so it's not really much you can do to it, but I have a trick that it's very useful for you to use and to remember. If this is a bare metal car, not the painted car, but if this is bare metal and you put the line here and you have the door coming out, you maybe have the rear quarter panels comes out, what I do, I take a chisel like this, okay? And I'm going to, if this was a bare metal car, I could take that on the side here and I can move that in, and I can move the bottom in too. So I'm moving the whole thing in little, and it changed the radius here. And I don't do all the problem on the door, I do little on the rear quarter panel as well. So I take half there and half there. And pretty soon I can see that the line is right. So now I'm going to go over to the steel body, and I'm going to put the tape and the line over there so you can see that on the steel body as well. So now I put the line over on the steel body, and as I said before, when I built the black car, I couldn't make the whole thing, but today we can make everything from scratch from flat sheet metal because I have so much knowledge today. So I put the line here, and as you can see on this line as well, this has a good flow, and I make sure that when I set everything up on the frame here for the student to build everything from the belt line and up, because the rear quarter panel, the door skin, and the cowl, that's pieces that the student making on the step 1 class. So I don't want them to do that again on the step 2 class, so I make sure that I prepare up to the belt line, a little above the belt line on the door, but a little above the belt line here on the rear quarter panel. Then we're making everything else on the step 2 class. So if we have if I had a problem here that this came out a little too much, I can take the chisel and I can actually hammer it in the bead there, all the way there, and then go all the way on the bottom. And I can actually move this in, and nobody else going to see what you have done, but you save the shape of the car, and the car have a good line, a good flow on the side, and it just looks good when it's done. And this is something you should do when you're building the car and it's bare metal. Just a thought that you should remember, that to be thankful for those people that said that you said no, or say that you can't do it. And if that guy have in Stockholm that I offer a good price for his 3-window coupe, if he had said a yes, that I could buy that car from him, I probably wouldn't be here today. But he didn't answer me. He didn't say no. He didn't answer me at all. So I decided to go home and build my own car, and that turned over that I could teach people in metal shaping. And now I'm teaching people from many different countries coming to Pleasanton to learn from me. So it's old fenders, new running boards. The back of the car, we're going to film that a little more so you can see that as well, is new, and it's old rear fenders. But in that time, I couldn't make all the parts because I didn't have enough knowledge to do that. But today, we can actually build everything from scratch, a 3-window coupe. So I learned so much more over the years, and especially from my students, because they have questions and I figured out how to do it, and that's how I can learn more as well. So much more I understand what's going on. And again, what we can do, we can cut, bend, shrink, and stretch. That's all we do. And if you know what happens when you're using more of one or more of those 4 elements in a combination, you can control a flat piece of sheet metal. And that's what I'm teaching. Thank you for watching, and if you want more information, go to www.lazzemetalshaping.com. Thank you.